Welcome back, everybody. Thetimix here, and it's time for more of Let's Play Motorsport Manager. This is the Head Start for Hawkins challenge. We are completed 2 races out of 16, so just nicely getting started. Beijing is next. Let's check our mail. And car is going to take 40 hours. Well, that's longer than usual. Let's see what the WSN wants. Simple question. Which one of your drivers is better? I'm not answering that. And, great. I just tanked our marketability. That's awesome. I was going to tick off one of the drivers if I said the other one was better. So that seemed to be like just a zero win thing there. This is about our win at Yokohama. And that marketability issue is definitely going to, it's a big one for us because of the financial situation, which is the main issue I need to deal with here. We've got over $1 million in the bank. But even with max sponsor bonuses, we're going to lose about $400,000 a race. Over the course of the rest of the year, that's another $6 million. The sponsors that we have, we've got a couple that are going to expire fairly soon, but the rest are going to be around for like half the season. And so the question is, can we afford to upgrade parts or not? And I kind of need to decide on that now. So in looking at this, I took a closer look at the car itself. And again, it's the wings that are hurting us. 4th on the front wing, 6th on the rear wing, and particularly later in the season, there's a number of races with those as critical parts. And we're actually below average now on this one. In terms of what we can afford to develop, our best HQ facilities are for the engine and gearbox, but they're the more expensive ones, take longer. Not really even seriously considering those. Our designer kind of stinks at the suspension, and ours isn't too far from the best on that one. It's a bit of a weaker part, but it's not terrible. So it sort of leaves with like brakes, front wing, rear wing as the ones we might legitimately put some money into. Front wing's a little bit longer time, a little bit more expensive. So ultimately, I think I want to go with the rear wing here, even though we have crap for our initial options. There's nothing there I can take. I could take this one, which will help down the road. But even this, like, we're around 900 on our performance, so this would still be a bit of a boost, and then we could get it up to like close to 1,000. I think that's worth doing. Plus they'll start off with high reliability. That's a small bonus. So building 3 of these, which we'd eventually need to do. This one is just the starter one, and then we would get one for each car to the best one we could get. I think that it's going to cost us about $2 million. And it's a tough call, but I think that I'm going to go with it. The thing about this is that it's sort of... Oh, I get a 27K discount. Cool. Hope you know what you're doing, says the chairman. Yeah, so do I. But we need to improve our marketability, which that little interview sure didn't help. That's for darn sure. But it was only at 10%. Now it's down to 0. And the only way to do that is to keep winning. So it's like we've got to try to spend just enough money to keep winning is sort of where it's at. We've dominated the first 2 races. But I don't know how much longer that's going to last. So anyway, I'm going to go with that, and then we'll see where we are when I'm done with the rear wing builds, whether I want to continue or not. We're talking about retiring, and now we can get back to work on the vehicle. And I think we're Yep, still totally maxed out on reliability. So for Beijing, we want the engine, the gearbox, and the brakes. Go ahead and take the suspensions out of there. Let's get engine, gearboxes, and the brakes are in there. And then I don't think it really matters that much, you know, what I hit next. But if I'm thinking about doing, well, that doesn't matter. We're going to have these maxed out well before we hit any sort of new part coming in. So I'll just, let's see, let's go with the suspension. That's our best other part. So yeah, these won't be finished until after the race, but we can move them up as much as we can, and there's no reliability issues at all to work on, so that's totally maxed. First rear wing is in. And we can see 967 max there. These are at 895 and 944 for the best they can do. And nope. Let's keep on going with another one of those. And, you know, I'm honestly just going to save. Yeah, there's none of those I want. I'm going to save the 50,000 bucks, because that amount of reliability is going to take a very short time to acquire. So, it's not a lot, but doggone, I'm saving everything that I can. Filling all component slots is highly recommended. Yeah, I don't want to in this case. Okay, let's keep moving forward. Let's take a look at our parts. Yep. I mean, they're not going to finish, so is what it is. 3 more days. Report on Beijing, 63 laps. Goodness, that's a long ways. 2 1/3, and lap record is 1:13, basically. Likely to be some rain. Acceleration is a big deal, and we have a great gearbox. They want to upgrade the design center. Not going to happen. We're not going to have nearly enough money for that. There's the lower level results. Onwards. Yeah, you're going to talk to me about money, aren't you? Beijing preview. Thinks that Harrison's going to stay at the top of the standings, which is hilarious because I believe they're both tied. So Roger Harrison says, take all of the fans' money and put it on me. I'm a shoo-in. Anything other than first will probably raise the chairman's blood pressure. So, no pressure at all. Yes, extremely concerned, make the money last, blah, blah, blah. I am taking a risk. There's no question about it. But, see there, now we're back up in, now we're still 6th, but we are back up into the green there. And let's design one more of that exact same thing. And now we're in the deficit. 500K in the deficit. So I have no intention of building any more parts You know, until something changes with our financial situation. I'd like to build front wings later in the season, but I'm definitely not going to take that plunge, at least till I find out what happens with our sponsors. Let's, definitely we need to work now on this part. Want reliability there. And yeah, throwing it all in is still only going to get it to us 4 days after the race. And how long till the next race? That's the question. About another 2 weeks. But I'm going to have another part by then. I really think I want to throw everything into reliability at this point. Let's yank out that suspension and throw this in there as well. There we go. We're still working on those, of course. Very, very slowly now. But I'll want to get the reliability, make sure that we can get both of these up by the next race. So once the other one comes in, I'll know how far to dial that back. Okay. I think that's where I want to be. And off to Beijing. Of course, go with the top sponsor bonus and hopefully only lose the 400K. Now, what sort of temperature? Yeah, very cool temperatures. We're still going to want softs for qualifying, but could very well want to go with some mediums. I doubt we're going to go hard. I could be wrong about that, but I doubt it. Let's still take a couple of those. I think something like that is where I'd like to be. We've got the hards just in case, but we're going to do softs for the qualifying. We'll want lots of those to make sure we have enough to do all of our runs. You know what? Let me do that. Because there's only one round of qualifying, so there's only so many sets of that we're even going to need. And so Diaz expected to win according to our acknowledgement. Second place for Harrison. Obviously our goal is going to be to continue extending our dominant lead in the points for as many races as possible so that nobody has a chance to come back at the end. Beautiful shot here, I must say. Alrighty, let's get going on our weight stripping, which should be the same for both cars, now with everything at 100% still. $300 for both vehicles with 3 crucial parts. Says they're both going to start off on mediums, and I'm fine with that. Harrison with about a 9 in his form there. He's looking great for practice. Looks like he definitely wants a good amount of control on the handling. So we'll start off with that. Diaz much more middling on the handling, so we'll see how that ends up working out. Which of them is closer to where they're actually going to want to be. And with a short track, I am expecting to be able to pretty much max out my bonuses, at least hopefully. Okay, so you want race trim, go out for 8. And so do you. Probably an 8 and a 4 is the usual amount that I want. And we'll hit the qualifying later. Let's get to know Beijing. Both at 6.9, so good, but not excellent. And it's looking like it's going to be good weather today. 19 degrees warmer than it's expected to be on race day. But I would expect the medium tires to still hold up fine under that. We got a bunch of drivers on hards. Harrison likes the downforce. And Diaz wants better handling. Well, you can go ahead and come back in for that then. Of course, that's going to happen on the next lap. It's very early up, but our time's looking good at the outset. Of course, they will get better as the session proceeds. You're never really sure what's going to happen. Harrison loving the handling too. So we'll stick with the race trim here for now. But wow, the speed balance is right on the button. Let's tweak the... well, let's adjust the handling first. You want more responsive handling, you said. Maybe something around there. I'd like to tweak the downforce just a bit higher. Let's try that. That probably won't be exact, but it'll be close enough. Yep, stick right where you are. Same tires. And we're now down to 3rd and 4th as Chapman and Vasquez have surpassed us, but on soft tires, and not by that much. So a little north on medium tires, but still not, of course, concerned at this point. You can see, yeah, the medium tires not even holding up under these conditions. So I'm definitely not going to want to go with softs. It's either going to be mediums or hards. Although I'm going to want softs for qualifying. So that's sort of an interesting conundrum. I mean, I could go with... I'm thinking go with mediums and riding them fairly hard. Weather's still looking good. Diaz happy with the changes to the downforce. And we're starting to get close here on our medium tires and race trim. The only thing I'm questioning here is whether I should have brought more hard tires with me. Because if I use one for practice, it's only going to leave me one more for the race in case I want to use them. Alright, let me see where we're at here. Let's still halfway around the track. Yeah, we should both be coming in now. So we hit 92% on the first go-round for Harrison. And I'm going to tweak the downforce just a bit lower. The handling, let's go and put that about there. And a little bit more top speed. And just see what happens with that. Max qualifying distance and soft tires. Well, I do have 3, so I could use 2 of these. 38 to 40 laps. Okay, so I'll have enough. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get hard tires maxed out. That we will have to wait and see on. But we've hit our race trim. Probably not quite. I'm thinking not quite when I'm done with this, but we'll find out. Qualifying, level 3. And let's hit our soft tires. Okay, we're great across the board. So we need a little more top speed there. And I'm just gonna, I want to nudge this a bit more that way. Yeah, that's about what I want to go with. Big changes there. We're just trying to finish locking everybody in. Sure we can. But we're close enough I don't want to bring anybody in for extra stops right now. I just want to get our trim set up. You're going to come in later to change tires anyway, so Just stay out there and run, run, run. Approaching the halfway point there, and Diaz turning in the fastest lap so far. We're again in the top 2 spots, barely. But we're doing it on soft tires also. You see, the soft tire is basically able to maintain their temperature. Everything else is going to cool off very easily. So we'll have to really burn them. That's going to make tire strategy pretty interesting, I would think. Okay, Harrison wants, wants the handling changed. Fine. You're going to switch up to race, and I think 8 laps. That's 6 minutes left. Yeah, 4 laps might not be quite enough. Go with 8. We're going to switch to some hard tires, and then. Okay, that was good, and this is okay. So we need to get the handling out near the end there. Don't know if I want it quite out that far. Yeah, I think that's about right. Alright, let's make the change. And then we've got Diaz coming in. Are we going to get... Yeah. Going to have to go back out real quickly to finish up our soft in qualifying. But the setup here looking pretty strong. Just do 1 lap qualifying. We're at 97%. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The only question is, can we tweak it at all? It's about the downforce and the oversteer. Just a bit. Okay, so from here I want a bit lower downforce, a bit more understeer. Honestly, I'm just going to do that. See what it does. 1 lap qualify. Yep, you want to stay on the soft tires. That's right. Okay, get out there. Interested to see what happens to the temps on these hards. This is literally the first time I've driven on hard tires in this entire LP, which we're now approaching basically 40 segments, and of course many, many more to go. So the temperature on these is going to dive quickly. So to use the hards, we would really have to just be flat out crushing them. And honestly, the temperature is going to be right for the softs, but then that would mean more stops. And the temperature is even, we'd have to drive the softs even fairly hard. So I think it's going to be, you know, a balance when it comes to that. Okay, let's see. We're almost there. Where is Diaz on the track? Yeah, should be able, I think, to finish this up. Of course, since there's nothing else we can usefully do, we might as well go ahead and do the hard. Oh, this is going to be close. Should make it, though. Might as well drive on the hard tires, because there's no other things to improve other than the wets, which we're not in the weather for that. Okay. Diaz sitting at 98%. And, yeah, I don't think I can usefully tweak that much. I'm going to stick with the 98. Just switch tires and get back out there. So, we've got the top 2 times by a decent margin, unless somebody else improves. We're maxed out on all of our trim except for the hard tires. We just hit level 1, and we got a shot at getting to level 2, I think. So the only thing we're not going to get is we're not going to get level 3 hard tires. But if we get level 2, you know, that'd only be a 5% bonus that we'd miss out on. So can't really complain about anything with this practice session. There's nothing to indicate that our car isn't still good enough to dominate. Nothing but positive comments on the setups. There we are. And Diaz had just made it past the finish line. So I think she still gets to finish. I think it's going to let us get over. And there it is. Level 2 hard tires. Brilliant bit of fortune there. Okay. So, yeah, half a second ahead of the field was Diaz. Harrison not doing too bad either. Diaz set searing pace in practice. Hawkins GP indeed are awesome. And they're worried about Gonzalez's showing. We don't really care about our competitors, to be honest. This is just about continuing to dominate races, extending that lead. And here we are for qualifying. Just go ahead and hit our max soft and qualifying trim. I don't see any reason not to do that. Let's take a look at our setups. 99%. Well, we're not changing that. And 98%. Not changing that either. How's our weather? dry as dry can be, and the temperature is lower. Well, let's get out there and set some great times. Harrison, you first. Six, 6, and 7-0 on the form. Still nothing to complain about there. Perfect tire temps on both, right where we want to be. And Harrison's first segment beaten out by Dieter Wexler. .106.5. Diaz just a hair faster than that after her first segment. Wexler did not win the overall, though. Diaz still didn't have the fastest for each sector, but he did slightly faster. She did slightly faster than Harrison. And there we are, 1 and 2. I think we're only going to have time for one more set, probably. Well, there's Chapman going first. I want to wait until the end of the section here, end of this session, where we've got more grip. So the track conditions are a little bit better. 106 per lap. So I think I want to send Harrison out at about 145 and then Diaz to follow. No, I'll up that a little bit to just under 2 minutes. I'm just going to wait and see what everybody else does here. And yeah, we still finished second and third right now. That would get us the sponsor objective, but obviously I'd like to beat Chapman, get him off the pole. I just didn't think we had quite enough time to get in 3 rounds. Maybe we would have. Maybe we would have. Maybe it would have been better to go for 3. But I'm still, I mean, it's too late for that now. And besides, the chances of having neither one get in the top 2, which is all that really matters here, is, remote. So they're going to keep complaining about it. I would expect nothing else. Now we've got a bunch of the other drivers going out, and we're just going to wait. You can see like only Wexler and Chapman really even coming close in that first set to our times. They are getting better, and you will be going out again. A couple more minutes. Lippanen sort of trying to get up here in the conversation in 5th. Nobody else really making a move yet. There's Chapman going out. Wexler's going out, so some of the other drivers getting out there. Yep. There goes Vasquez, Saarinen, Holtz. We can see on pit row. And you know what? I don't want to mess with Chapman when he comes back around. Let's send out Harrison now. A little earlier than I wanted to go, but I think it beats the alternative. Yep. There we go. I don't like the way those are spaced. So I think what I want to do is... yeah, let's send Diaz now. They're going to be a little bit close together, which I don't really like. But I don't want to be stuck in traffic. So I'm going to try to make this work. Well, I clearly didn't. So hopefully Diaz gets by there. I need to carefully manage the heat here. Well, I almost on accident got Harrison perfect, so this is going to work. Thought I had a little more time to get back to him and adjust, and I didn't, but it worked. Okay. So Harrison is clear of traffic. What about Diaz? Nope. So Diaz is going to have some trouble. Harrison, I need you to get top 2. No, 0.06 behind. That's not what I was looking for. You've got the best form, 7.7. You really 0.134 behind. You are 0.002 behind Chapman's pace. But you did beat him. You beat Chapman at least. Thank you for doing that. Diaz, while in traffic, set the fastest first sector. And gets the pole. Wow. That came out of nowhere. So Vittorio Diaz on the pole, Wexler second, Harrison third. We're not 1 and 2, but I'm going to take it. Now, it looks like Chapman and Wexler definitely the competition on this track. To the extent, of course, there even is any chance of a follow back. Chapman happy with his performance. Looks like he's got whiplash, and so that makes it even more impressive to be 4th in the qualifying. Never seen anybody worse in 42 years than Maria Gonzalez. That's a pretty scathing statement. All right. It's time to decide what tires we're going to use. So the mediums, we're going to start out with softs, excuse me. And I don't think we could finish it even on a soft and a hard. So I think a soft and 2 mediums. Start out with softs, obviously, for the start, and then 2 mediums. I think that's how I want to run this. It's still, cool weather. but we'll be able to run the mediums fairly hard and still get enough out of them, I would think. Plus, those are the two with the maximum bonus. That seems like the best plan to me. So, having said that, let's go with our medium tire bonus and our race bonus. And that should give us the max of both for most of it. Now, of course, that means we won't have any particularly big advantage at the start. But after that, it will all change. So, yeah, those are the tires I want. Fuel options, as always, we're going to go to 70%, which is 44 on this track. So we'll, go bump it up a couple after that to 46. Or no, I don't want 46. I want 44. 2/3 would be 42. Plus 2 is 44. Yeah, let's go with that. Gonna stick with the same setups otherwise. Indeed, soft tires to start. 44 laps, and compared to the full load, that gives us almost 1/10 of a second per lap. We'll max out to start. First couple laps should be fast and frenetic, and I expect to see some drivers getting lapped severely on this. Getting through traffic could be very significant. There just isn't as much open room to run on a shorter track. We've got, Harrison form looking great. Chapman and Wexler not looking fantastic, and Chapman has whiplash for another day. And Diaz looking fairly good as well. Yeah, you see, until you get back to North, you don't have anybody else who's really looking like they're in good form today. Zoe Sharp has a neck problem. So all of those things playing in our favor. Let's see how we do here. Right along with pole sitter Diaz, as we appear to be off to a decent start, bracketing Wexler. Harrison trying to move up along the first turn, but doesn't get by. It's a pretty tightly packed start so far. Diaz now starting to pull away. Yep, over a second lead. So I'm going to go back to high and push. And Harrison in second, and not having any trouble stay there. So let's stay high and push for a lap and see what that does. Goal here just being, don't destroy the car, the tires, when you don't have to. Save something for later that you might need it. Diaz looking solid, but Harrison driving excellent. This could be Roger Harrison's day. Pre-race indicators could indeed be right on that. And we're still holding solid, so I want to bump down everybody to neutral here. And we're just going to chill out and see what happens here. 61 laps to go in Beijing. Once again, Hawkins GP off to a huge start. And the question is, can anybody touch us? There was a significant chance of rain today, but so far, not the least bit of evidence. Actually screwed up rather significantly there and not checking the weather at the beginning of the race, but I did get away with it. And of course there's the long gain here on the battery. Be interesting to see what happens with these tires if I have to push them to maintain temp, even with soft tires. We are going to have some interesting situations with that possibly, as it holds at a very cool 13 degrees. So Harrison dropping back, which is a bit of a surprise. But 3 seconds and growing his lead on Holtz. You can see Holtz and Chapman, their tires are also worse. They're burning them more. So Diaz pulling away slightly from Harrison. Harrison pulling slightly away from the rest of the field. It's 3 plus back to Holtz. Another almost 3 to Chapman, who leads Vasquez there. And behind that, the pack. So there is nothing going on in terms of any challenge here. If we look at our standings, Steinman presently in, I believe, 4th, running 3rd and 4th, running much better than the other 3rd and 4th today. So they would move up to 3rd and almost 2nd behind Catano, which is not doing as well, and that would all be to our benefit also. Expanding the lead. I mean, if those, like, if we can get 2 or 3 of the other teams to split the points that they're getting, that's just going to make things even better. As we could, you know, not have one major challenger sucking up all the points and providing a major threat. And again, we must constantly remind ourselves, it is only the beginning of the 3rd race. Even after today is over, we will not even be a 5th of the way through the year, but everything looking nothing but positive so far. Harrison still is dropping back a little, but the rest of the field losing distance much faster. We're just sprinting away from them. Almost 30 seconds up on the final cars, which is, at the rate this race goes, approaching half a lap up as we enter lap 8. So there will indeed be lots of lapping vehicles going on. Harrison at over 9 now, 9.1 on his form, and still cannot make any inroads. Oh yeah, I didn't notice the tires. Yes. No, don't go there. Go push. Push. So we actually do have a problem. We have to push even the slow tires, or the soft tires. So I think starting with this next, well, I'm going to wait. I want to wait to get the temperature up a little bit. I mean, that's just, we're just blowing the field away, if anything, by more than we were in the past. Boy, if the tire temps are going up, they're not going up by much. I think we're just going to have to stay in this mode and pretty much constantly push on the mediums once I come out on those. I don't know, like, how badly that's going to impact the number of laps we get out of them. So I think for now, I'm just going to run these tires down. But yeah, the temperature is going up. So starting with this next lap, as it looks like Harrison is gaining a bit now. Starting with the next lap, I want to track roughly how many more laps of this we have to go. Of course, it'll always be Diaz pitting first because Diaz's tires will wear faster. She crosses the line at 41% on the tires. Gap seems to be holding at about 4 seconds. It's gone up and down some, but it hasn't been far from 4 for several laps, as Harrison is virtually driving perfectly to keep it there. And of course the rest of the field continues to fade ridiculously. So at this pace on the tires, we're losing about 6% a lap, which would mean one more lap, maybe 2. I'm going to go with 2. Probably 2 laps for Diaz and 3 for Harrison. And then after she comes around this, like for the last lap of that, I can bump them back down to neutral. Some drivers using their speed bursts. Yep, here's 30%. And see if you've got enough to go that last lap on neutral there. But it will be time for Diaz to come in. Well, we're doing nothing but shifting tires here. If we get those 28 laps, that would be 56 more, and it would put us at about 70. But we're not going to get that many. So, we'll have to see how much we get out of this, and we may even have to do a stint of hards at the end. But if we do, so be it. A medium and a hard wouldn't be the end of the world either. Particularly given how much we're dominating the situation. All the parts look fine. We're not going to risk any battery charging. Just going to be in, grab some mediums, and come right back out. Looks like that was about the right tire strategy there for Diaz. And here comes Harrison around. And I'll go ahead and shift him back to neutral for his lap. He'll lead for a lap and then he will come in. And I'm much more confident in his ability to get around on his tires. That would take him up to 79. He's got 16 laps of extra to burn. And they'll definitely burn some of that, at the very least. I think he'll definitely be able to go medium, and then Diaz almost certainly going medium hard, and that'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. So Diaz pits and comes out in second place. Still like 12, 13 seconds ahead of Chapman. Unbelievable. We are just crushing the field here. And I think a lot of it has to do with the strategy of limiting the fuel at the beginning and then gradually going hybrid throughout the race. The other teams aren't doing that, and it just makes a huge difference. And here comes Harrison settling into that, upper 3-second gap. And quite likely on this stint, we're going to see some lapping. I will be honest about this. The early parts, at least, of this championship, I think it's going to get harder later. But our cars aren't that dominant. I think the race strategy is the main dominant factor here. And if that's the case, I'm still interested to see, do they give us the win early? If things keep going this way. If, a big if. But if they keep going this way, do they give us the win early if we've mathematically eliminated the others? We may eventually find that out. But it's honestly, like, we've had some tense finishes. The Up in Flames challenge, you know, and the Daddy's Boy challenge with Gabler retiring at the end. This could be just a tedious, boring, goodness, let's just get through this a challenge. Diaz running the fastest lap of the race just to shove it in everybody's face that she's the best. She's 6.4 and Harrison running as a 9, but Diaz still pulling away. I want to watch the tires a little more closely. Fine on him so far. And here's our first blue flag on lap 19 out of 63. We are not even a third of the way through the race, and it's time to start lapping people. And honestly, the way this race is going, it's going to be just us two on the lead lap. We're already 30 seconds above third place. I don't see any way anybody else even stays on the lead lap. I mean, that's how absurd this is becoming. And still no change in the weather. The track slowly getting faster, of course, with the grip increase. And just, you know, how bad the lapping situation gets, that's honestly the main thing, really, of interest here. There's about an 11-second gap here coming up, from DeGraff up to North. But then once we hit that, we're going to be going through traffic non-stop. Pretty soon here, we're going to have to start pushing the tires. Matter of fact, I want to do that now. I don't really have to do it quite yet. There we go. But I'd like to go neutral on as much of this gap in between cars as I can. Harrison still tracking down DeGraff. Oh, there goes another car into the pits. It'll be a ways up to 17. Yeah, and I've got to put... I'm out of tire here. I've got to go push here. I can go back to neutral on Harrison, though. At least for the time being. And probably see this gap extend further. It looks like pushing on him is enough to raise the tire temp still, but very slowly. Ran that lap in under 110, which is still 3 seconds plus off the qualifying pace. And now we're starting to come up on some more traffic. And the more of them that are able to go by us with pitting, of course, the better. But at this point, it's just rather pointless efficiency that I'm aiming for here. Because, you know, losing a second or two here or there doesn't matter. It only matters in the sense of which driver is going to win. And now it's Harrison needs to go push as well. And it's going to be a little bit difficult to see what the true gap is between my drivers as they just blast through this traffic like it's not even there. And again, I just have to say, I think it's carrying a lighter fuel load that's doing this. Harrison with the fastest lap. So we'll probably see that competition go back and forth as the grip on the track slowly boosts. Well, at least through around lap 40 or close to it, we're not seeing a drop of that rain. 13 cars now on the lead lap. And about to be less than that. Gonzalez has to be coming into the pits. Yep. And Diaz getting held up a little bit here by North, but then going by. And based on what I see so far, it looks like she's going to have to go hard. Tires at the at the end. That could potentially let Harrison take this race too, because he'll be running on faster tires. That could make the difference. There's Vidal going down. We've got a few seconds here of gaps. Let's back off to neutral. We've got enough tire temp to do that. And it's like a 6-7 second gap here in between Vidal and Surikov. Even at that, I've pretty much got to go back to push. Oh, I'll let the batteries hit 100%. Well, that's not good. That could potentially give us problems with finishing the race, fuel-wise, because of not using the maximum hybrid. But, I mean, we're doing so well that I should be able to shift to low or whatever later if I need to. I have no reason to ever have to go above neutral, and I only went flat out for one lap and then hard for a second lap. So I should be okay on that, but that's an important thing to not forget. So easy to be watching other things and miss it as it goes by. I want to back off Harrison's tires a bit once he makes this pass. And there it is. I think I've got, yeah, this lap and one more for Diaz. before she comes back in. Gap has extended to about 6 seconds here. And there are only 6 cars left on the lead lap. Yep. Go neutral and pit. Okay, so this is 19 laps. Is all we got out of these. Instead of 28, we only got 19. So that means we expect about 24, 25 out of the hard, and you know what? That wouldn't be enough either. Well, all right, we'll just go with the 3-stop strategy. Just take mediums 2 more times. And then, you know, we can keep the temperature a little higher on those. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to play it. Time to boost Harrison's tires back up. And he should have 2 laps at least here, possibly a third. But I still don't think he's going to get away with double mediums either. He might get away with the medium. I might be able to run the medium hard strategy for him. And if he pits one less time, you know, I mean, Diaz is obviously not going to be able to keep up. So Wexler there is like, no, I want to stay on the lead lap. And it's basically, well, too bad. But yeah, I think I want to take Harrison in here. So he's going to get 20 laps. He got 20 laps out of these. Another 20, not going to make it. Could probably get almost enough out of these. He might make it on the hards. Is it worth it? No. We're going to make sure we get by. So he's just going to take mediums and he's going to ride them hard. I'm going to keep Diaz. Diaz is going to run it fairly hard. Keep between these. Keep between the 2 safe marks there, the first and second one, and then I'll keep Harrison's tire temps up another level here. As he's up to 9.8, he's just going to stay on push for a bit to boost his tire temps. So now we're back up to 10 vehicles on the lead lap for the moment. Diaz just running solid. Looks like both drivers are going to be in the same boat in terms of stops. It's a 3-stop race because of the amount we've got to push the tires largely, and also because it's not a great track for tire wear. A lot more stops than we thought. I don't like stopping 3 times. I could have probably avoided it, maybe by going soft, hard, hard. But fortunately, it's not really going to matter a whole lot, as we have a 40-second lead on the field with 1 more pit stop in than most of them. We have a bunch of other cars coming in soon. Let's go ahead and push for a while with Diaz. Well, no, let's wait just a bit. Let's get a little closer to those cars ahead. Don't want to wait too long, though. Just because I don't want the temp to drop too low, basically. And we're at 95, so I'll go hybrid for a little bit. .9 for Diaz. Perfect driving for Harrison at 10.0 at the absolute peak of his ability, and he has closed up the gap some. So, you know, his tire advantage becomes more and more pronounced throughout the race. This could get very interesting. Still no sign of any bad weather. We just keep running till the end as we approach 2/3 of the way through here now. I think we're going to be in the upper 40s, like 47, 48 laps or thereabout when we go for the final pit stop. Harrison's fastest lap of the race, and it's down to 3 seconds. And he's also down to 9.3. So he's no longer driving perfectly, he's just driving with high amount of excellence. With him driving that well, I honestly, I'd like to have him win the race, but we'll see if that's actually going to happen. We can go charge some more here. You can see the tire temps barely going up at all, so you're going to be able to push most of the way here, I believe. To just make things even more miserable for everybody else. Fuel deficit down to under 10 laps now. I think we're going to be totally fine on that. The only real question remaining that I can see is whether Harrison catches Diaz, because he has been charging. Down to a little over 3 seconds now. I'm going to say he probably doesn't. I think Diaz still wins this, but it could potentially get interesting if he gains a couple more seconds. I think I want Diaz to come in at about lap 48, and then I'm going to have Harrison come in at 50. Just sort of trying to split the difference so they don't run down their last set of tires too much. That seems to be about the right point to hit it. Diaz with her best lap of the race. And now has 3 more laps before I'm going to have her come in. Lapping some vehicles here for a second time. And we're almost up to the point of lapping Sharp, who is the only competitor still on the lead lap. Well, look at Harrison dropping it down now, 2.5 seconds. Due to the traffic there, I believe. And there goes Sharp. Yep, there goes the lead back up due to traffic situations. That will tend to happen. Go hybrid here again. Okay, and Diaz, it's time to come in for your last tire change. Give Harrison a couple more laps before he does that. He seemed to be having some issues there with Sharp. Cost him some time. Oh, they screwed up on the rear jack. So that's not going to make Diaz happy at all. And could very well have just cost her the race. That will remain to be seen. Okay, Harrison, now it's time for you to make your final change. Go ahead and charge here. Once again, I'm going to try to synchronize their energy amounts as much as I can. No screw-ups there. And Harrison still comes out in second, behind a bunch of traffic. It looks like we're going to have some extra battery power here at the end. I'm probably going to let it go up to 100% just so I can run down the fuel a little bit lower. No traffic now. Harrison just a couple seconds back. This could be an interesting final 10 laps just to see which driver wins it. Harrison continued to driving the better of the two. He's got better tires. Diaz does have slightly better energy at the moment. Let's see if Harrison could make it through this traffic without losing too much time. There goes that final pass, but it did push him up to about 3 seconds on the gap there. And I think I'm going to switch to hybrid when each driver hits 2 laps of fuel. That gives me plenty of margin for error, I would think. We should have just enough to more than finish the race there. Traffic battle continues. 3 seconds now with 10 laps left. Looks like they'll probably hit 2 laps of fuel about the time they hit 100% on the hybrid. So we're going to have some hybrid energy left, I think. Maybe have a small amount of it, and we're going to have probably a little bit less than a lap of fuel. Should work out pretty much where I want it to once again. There we go. Hit the mark at 96% and 94% for Harrison. And now Chapman is up to 3rd due to the pit stops and going down off the lead lap for him. Harrison getting past Sharp as well. Still 3+ seconds. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Better form, better tires. This would seem to prove pretty conclusively that despite not being as smooth, Diaz is the better driver. With all the advantages Harrison has, still not getting it done today. And the forecasts of probable rain definitely were not accurate. It's all over but the crying now. Take another look at the team performance, and much like it was earlier, Catano's doing a little bit better than they were before. Steinman, the clear number 2 today. Catano and Panther having a bit. So a nice little split there. Yeah, starting to have some brake issues. They're not too bad. How are you doing? Pretty good. So it looks like Harrison murdered his brakes a little more. But yeah, the gap is not closing. So this race is going to Diaz, who will take the points lead. But more importantly, we have yet to leave a single point on the track, and are continuing to leave our competitors further and further in the dust. Diaz racing somewhat better, racing pretty strong here at the end. We've got some open track here, and Harrison still not able to make up any ground. If anything, fading a bit. But based on this, I would definitely expect Diaz to be winning most of the races going forward. See Moreno back there now, Moreno and Vidal over 3 minutes off the pace. Clearly we're going to have both plenty of fuel and energy remaining. DeGraaf goes 2 laps down, and we have 2 laps left in this one. Final lap. Still over a 3-second edge. It's pretty clear what's going to happen in this. Of course, I could have pushed Harrison's tires harder, but why? There's just no real reason for me to be concerned about which one of my drivers wins the race. And there it is. Okay, I guess, for finishing second. High standards around here, as there should be. And I think we passed Vidal again at the end. Right there at the end, I think we got Vidal to put 3 laps behind. Well, nothing but domination. You can see 13 cars were, well, up through 13th, 11 cars with a lap behind. 2 laps behind for these, and then a third for Iker Vidal there at the end. Nina Holtz in third for Steinman, the only other driver to blemish our podium. She moves up to 3rd place, which I really couldn't care less about. 74-point lead. So essentially we could, max you can get in a race is 43. We could not participate in 2 races and almost be ahead. Be slightly behind, maybe. Can Hawkins GP go on to dominate the World Motorsport Championship? I believe they can. We can. Right now it's becoming more and more of an expected thing, to be honest. Again, the great form for Harrison, not able to carry him to victory. Team marketability bumping back up a little bit. And everybody totally happy with what's going on here. We lost 316. I thought we'd lose about 400,000, but regardless, we are losing money. And our continued domination makes it really, I think, clearly the best thing to do is to continue to just back off. You know, don't spend any more money. Just grow our way out of this with eventually getting more sponsors. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And right now, nobody is touching us. It wasn't nearly so much the first race, but once we got our reliability up and were able to do the weight stripping, the last two races, literally nobody within a minute. It's just a complete wipeout. So we'll see if there are any inroads made at all by the other teams in Tondela, or if Hawkins continues to rule the racing scene in the WMC. That'll be coming up next time. Thanks for watching Motorsport Manager.